what happened? After hearing the word and going through, one day God allowed my wife to see just what I was talking about. And so what happened? And so what happened? My wife went to the door of my house one day and opened the door and said, "Mama, you got to leave." She said, "This is me and my husband's house. I'm tired of you disrespecting our house. You got to leave until you can learn to respect him like you respect me." You know, and what began to happen is that because she felt she can rule. Now, can I go back a little more? Now, I have to admit, now, it wasn't all her fault. You know how some people, and I'm not just talking about my wife, I'm talking about everything. You know how some of us, we come from families where women think they rule the whole house. You come from that family. There are some of you right now that sitting in here that where your mama ran her house, your auntie run her house, your grandma ran her house, and it's a whole bunch of women, and ain't none of y'all got nobody because y'all run in the house. Because y'all run in the house. And what begins to happen is that generational curse begin to come down from up here down here to you. Because what we have to understand is that you're not having to pay for the sins that they did. But God said, "I'll let it visit you to see if there's a weakness for it in you." To see if there's a weakness for it in you. And so he allowed that thing to come down to see if you got an ill temper. To see if you was given the opportunity, would you try to take control in your house? Even with some of the men. Even with some of the men. Your granddaddy wouldn't say he was a hoe. Your daddy was a hoe. Now you think that you got to try to run everybody on the block. And you think you it because they told you they was it. But you can't find nobody else that said they was. Boy, I used to be hit back in the day. You all been that? And so now that spirit has passed down from one to the next. And all the spirits, this is what we got to understand. It'll come down whether you invite it or not. I was talking to a young man. I said to my daughter, because I think she was about 15 years old, and she said, "Dad, I'm confused." I said, "What you mean?" She said, "Sometimes I like boys." She said, "Sometimes girls are cute too." And I said, "Did you ever talk to your mama?" She said, "No, sir." I said, "Well, your mama didn't tell you that sometimes when she was young, she was a date girl. Sometimes she wanted to date boys. I just happened to catch her during the time when she liked boys." I said, "Your mama dealt with this. That's why you are dealing with this." I say, "This thing have came to visit you, but you don't have to give in to it. It's coming to see if is there a weakness enough, because it understands now, just because if it visits you, it's about over. That's right. If it visits you, it's been down for at least 2 or 3 generations. It's about over. So if it visits you and you pass it, it's about over. If it visits you and you don't, you just started for another 4 generations. You just started for another whole set. Your children gonna get older and come out from your house, tell you a reason why they want to leave their husband or wife. What he did, I don't know. I just don't like it. And there are some parents so silly that tell their kid that's good enough for you. Instead of telling them, "Go back home. You said God gave him to you?
That's right.
God gave her to you. Go back.
Yes, sir.
Yes, we are. So now, you in a place to where you struggle. And what I want you to get, what I want you to understand, I may call out something in, I may not, but sin is just sin. No matter what it is, it's just sin. And so now, you will struggle if the sin that was in your family line, if it is, let's say if it happened to be homosexuality, you're going to struggle with that, even though you're not homosexual.
That's right.
Even though you're not. Because through the law of the Spirit, it's allowed to come visit you and make you have all the feelings that a homosexual would have.
All right.
To see if you will give in. Just to see if you will give in. Not because you are. But this is the thing.
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
Just to see.
Just to see.
Oh God. It sounds comical, but if you're dealing right now with being fast and loose, it's because your grandmama, your mama, your auntie, one of them was too. They may have never told you that, but it's because one of them were too. And so now, since they gave in, now the Spirit is allowed now to come visit you, even though you're not what is calling you. It's allowed to come visit you, to come sit at your doorstep to see is it enticing. Because this is why we don't get caught up into how long I've been in church, how long I've been here. Because you can be in church for 5, 10 years going good, and it just have not came around for the season for that thing to visit you. You don't know that this thing may not come to the 15th year. It may not come to the 25th year. But when that season comes, it don't care if you're in the pulpit and you're preaching, that thing will come visit you. I hope I'm messing somebody. That thing will come and visit you just to see what type of weakness do you have. And what you got to understand that it is not after you, but it's after the next 4 generations.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's not after the next 4. It's trying to keep it in the family line. Abraham, you can trace his lineage back from Shem, back from Noah, right straight back to Adam. Man of God, left his country, left everybody who he loved. But when he left from the land, he took that lying spirit with him. He left the people but kept their spirit. Have anybody, you ever left your people but you kept their spirit?
Come on.
Amen. You in church now, but you still mean as hell. You left them, but you kept that spirit. And now leadership have a hard time dealing with you because you wasn't raised to submit to anybody. As soon as they got time for you to submit, you run off or you want to start a fight. Law enforcement know you by your first name because you ain't never submitted to no authority. That was me. Police told my mama in the grocery store while she was shopping, bro, that she had a dream he killed me, and he felt kind of good about it. Police. Right there in Cook County. She used to tell my mom, she said all the time, she said, you are not who the world is trying to make you believe. She said, you are not who. Matter of fact, you tap me on the shoulder, tell them that. So you're not who. You're not who. The world is trying to make you believe. You are. You are. You're not who who the world is trying to make you believe that you are. Because the only thing that the world is doing is cultivating that spirit so it'll have a home when it comes to visit you. It's trying to make you believe. You know what I thought? I thought I was the black sheep of the family.
All right.
I thought I was the one that got treated different. I thought I was the one that nobody knew. I'm like, why y'all did this for my brother and did this for my sister? And I come to find out that they got all that because they was obedient.
That's right.
It was just simply because they was obedient. Didn't nobody come get them out there. Nobody come to the school doing prayer and teaching them. They were just obedient. So they got things. And so Abraham began to tell his wife, this is how I need you to fix your mouth to tell this lie. Because he had gotten in a place to where God had led him out of, and he thought he had to defend himself while he was there. Thought he had to defend himself while he was there. God led him out of his country, promising blessings, but then Abraham took it upon himself to try to save himself while he was in this country by telling a lie. Now, what he said happened. Let's go to Genesis 20. Genesis 20. Am I helping anybody?
Yes.
Genesis 20, verse 1. It says, and Abraham sojourned from thence toward the south country and dwelled between Kadesh and Shur and sojourned to Gerar. And Abraham said unto Sarah his wife, she is
My sister.
my sister. And Abimelech king of Gerar sent and took her. Because he had said, now let me show you what Abraham, let me show you how Abraham thought he was justified in saying this. When you begin to read the scripture, you will find out that Sarah was his half-sister. They didn't share the same mother. But that was his half-sister. That was his half-sister. But on the days that they got married, biblical times, not now.
Biblical time.
Not now.